You join me today on Tracy Island, on the trail of that most elusive of creatures, the lesser-spotted Kirano. Jeff Tracy's faithful manservant was the very first member of International Rescue we ever met, and yet by the end of Thunderbirds he was almost nowhere to be found. There are some who say he now roams the jungles of Tracy Island, mumbling the same three pitiful words to himself over and over.
Have some coffee.
Ah! Oh, sorry about the tray, but... Oh, please don't do that.
I could not help but hear your words. What exactly are you doing?
Oh, yes, well, this is awkward. I was looking for you, actually, but I guess you were also looking for me. Why exactly?
I have felt a compulsion to come here and watch you work.
Ah, well, that's not creepy at all.
What does that do?
Oh, what, this? Oh, this is the Randomiser. It's used to select Jerry Anderson episodes. Randomly. Would you like to try it?
Oh, thank you, sir.
That's it, big red button right there. There you go.
I had a message, but I find it difficult to remember.
Ooh, was it that you secretly signed over Jeff Tracy's entire fortune to me?
Yes, perhaps it was.
Excellent. The old hypnosis is still working well. Right, let's see what we have today. Oh, well, a very good selection, if I may say so, Kirano.
That is good news indeed.
We're back with Fireball XL5, but in high definition and colour. It's a day in the life of a space general. Kirano? Kirano?
No!
Oh, come on, it's quite a good one.
Okay, Venus?
Okay, Steve.
Right. Let's go.
So here we are, back for some more Fireball XL5, and I have a feeling Fireball XL5 is going to be to 2019 what Joe 90 was to 2018 on the Randomiser. This is what, the fourth we've had in 3 months, I think, from Fireball, having had nothing up to this point before. So, yeah, probably going to see a few more Fireballs coming along. As well, something needs to take the gap that's been left by having already done like a sixth of Joe 90 already. But here we are, Day in the Life of a Space General, and I am watching this in the beautiful high-definition colorized version that was produced by Legend Films in 2009, released on Blu-ray. Doesn't make any difference to anybody listening to this because, yeah, you're not listening in color. It's a very, I don't know, is a podcast in color or is a podcast in black and white? Answers on a postcard, please.
Lieutenant 90, wake up!
Oh dear. So our last Fireball was Flight to Danger, which was another Lieutenant 90-centric episode. I said there it was nice for them to spotlight a minor character, and here we are with Day in the Life of a Space General, where it's happened again. It's another Lieutenant 90-focused episode, this time focusing on his training for...
How do you expect to become a bachelor of space if you can't stay awake?
Yeah, that's what he's training for.
But you've got to be alert, on the ball.
Oh dear, the HD close-ups on these XL5 puppets are slightly disorienting, possibly because I am seeing them in colour, which I'm not used to.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, now we're further away from them. That's
Drawing
better.
I've had to do for the exams.
So this episode, I first crossed paths with on the tape trading network, actually, in the early 2000s. This was broadcast, I think, somewhere on ITV in the 80s, and I can't remember who it was who provided me with copies of all the unreleased Fireball XL5 episodes that had been shown on, I think it was Central was showing Fireball XL5 in the mid-80s. This episode was also shown at the very first convention I ever went to, which was, I don't know if anyone out there remembers Junior Branch of Fanderson, I don't know what it would have been called, Fanderson Junior, Fanderson Kids, whatever. They had a Thunderbirds Fun Day in Margate with screenings of various episodes, mostly the first and last episodes, but they did have a few episodes of shows that weren't currently being shown on the BBC. There was this, and recalled to service from the Secret Service, and Play It Again SRAM from Terrorhawks was another one. But it's looking much nicer on Blu-ray and in colour.
What it's like to be shouted at.
So, I mean, obvious lead into a dream episode here. 90 has gone to bed, thinking about how nice it would be to be able to order everyone around and tell everyone what to do, and oh, we've had a dissolve to a dream, and now we've had, you know, where the screen goes doodly 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 doodly, and now we've just had another one doodly doodly doodly, so that should mean that he's out of the dream. It doesn't, but oh, you can see the mold line on 90's arm.
Sun shining. I feel on top of the world.
Quite weird. I've never noticed that before on any puppet, I don't think.
Good happens. Sounds like the mailman's called.
Now, some people have said that mailman through the door there, who you can't quite see, some people think it's Mike Mercury. I don't think it is. I would like it to be, but I think it's the captain of the space liner from Space City Special.
Can't believe it. Yippee! I'm the general.
90 has just cheered, fallen over backwards in his chair, and we've got a very strange close-up of his of the underside of his bare feet. Again, it's a lovely sort of touch that 90 is just so dedicated to his job, it even creeps into his dreams.
You should have been on
Oh.
TV an hour ago.
Oh, here's Eleanor Zero. Is this the first episode we've seen with Eleanor Zero in, Commander Zero's wife?
Is at work already.
Perhaps answering the question why there are no wives and mothers prominently featured in any of the Super Mario Nation shows, why they're always dead. If Eleanor is the sort of the idea that people who made these shows had that the wife and mother character could be, I'm probably grateful that we didn't get any more like her. Four Feather Falls clip! Yes! I think that's Red Scalp and a couple of his pals about to ambush the train through Four Feather Falls.
I don't know what's got into your father in the mornings, Jonathan.
I love things like that. I wish there were more shots of characters watching
Mom.
older shows.
Heard him say he didn't want it. Boy, is he in a sour mood today.
Yeah, this is the domestic bliss of the Zero household. Gives Lieutenant Brogan a run for his money in the uncomfortable family life, I think. But, oh, here we go. 90's put on his full general's outfit with medals.
General 90, sir.
You're a good man, Jack. A credit to the World Space Patrol.
Oh, it's very good of you to say so, sir.
I like the way that David Graham has pitched 90's voice slightly
Carry on and
deeper
don't
in
worry
this
about it. Leave it all to me.
this General 90 persona that our former lieutenant has taken on. Oh gosh, another close-up on scary puppet eyes.
But
It's a lovely HD transfer, this one, and the colour does have a slightly artificial edge to it, but it also suits
Up, man.
a Super Mario Nation show, I think.
thinking aloud, sir.
Well,
And considering this is 10 years old already,
do as you're told. I'll.
A, it still looks very good, but B, I would love to see what they would be capable of now. Ooh, lovely shot of the underside of XL5 taking off there. Quite a rare shot, that one. Probably because you can see that the front of the launch rail that XL5 is mounted on, there's very little of it there. There's like 3 inches worth at most.
XL5 free of Earth's atmosphere.
They wouldn't get very far on just 3 inches of the launch rail.
How about some coffee, Venus? General 90's left a kind of dry taste in my mouth. General 90 to XL5.
Yeah, instantly. As soon as we get into space, Venus can make some coffee. It's not like she has anything else to do. You know, she's not a doctor or, you know, has any scientific duties that might need attending to. No, woman, make the coffee.
That must be the 79th time he's called.
I'll be glad.
It's an interesting thing to do with taking a minor character and imagining them, having them dream themselves in charge of the whole world of whichever show they inhabit. I'd love to imagine other characters having similar dreams. Obviously, Lieutenant Fisher being very, very close to Lieutenant 90 in
I think I'll arrange for a little rig.
with regard to his role in Stingray. You could imagine him dreaming himself in charge of Marineville. Actually, I would love to see Colonel Magenta in charge of Cloud Base. Oh, that would be something.
Earth is about to be invaded. Sound the alarm.
Well, that's okay. That's happened before, and all you have to do is sort of wait around on the floor, and the racially insensitive aliens tend to collapse, pass out, in fact.
All personnel report to emergency state.
And this is, going back to the colorization of this episode, you can see elements like this, of this fire engine and a lot of the background stuff in Space City, there wouldn't have been any colour reference for. There would have been colour reference photos for like shots of the main characters in the Space City control room and stuff like this, but nothing much for those other things. And again, I just think, wow, they did such a really good job with this. I'm surprised, really genuinely surprised that nothing more has been done since this. Aside from the obvious fact that it takes a long time and is probably very expensive, probably even more so now than it was when this was made. That statement is based solely on hearsay, by the way. I don't have any actual hard financial evidence to back up that claim, but
I'll touch down and then take you to the hotel on the jetmobile.
well, hopefully as time goes by, stuff like this might start to get easier. I don't know. Anyway, we're now on the vacation planet Olympus, and this is actually a return visit to the planet Olympus. We were here for space vacation.
Jump for it, Jock. I can't hold it.
Let's take a tumble. And this is also the first episode of Fireball we've covered with Jock in it, the Scottish engineer who turned up in,
Can you hear me, Jock?
I don't know, maybe a third of the series, possibly half. He was a very nice character to have around. Again, predating Star Trek, we have a chief engineer who is Scottish.
Jock.
And amazingly, this is not the only cult TV show out there to have a Scottish chief engineer. I think The Man from U.N.C.L.E. has a Scottish engineer character called Scotty in an episode again that predates Star Trek. Very strange.
Get going, Jock. Hurry, I'm sinking fast.
So Steve has fallen into this quicksand bog type thing, and Jock is having to haul him out on a rope. This is I've always found this quite an odd sort of detour, remembering that this is all 90s Dream. I hope I'm not spoiling anything for anyone there. I know dreams can go off in all sorts of random directions, but this just seemed kind of like an odd time filler moment for 90 to be dreaming about things happening to other people when he's not there, if that makes sense. Although I guess it kind of fits in with his whole dream of, the brave, heroic commander gets taken down a peg or two by being rescued by the Scottish grease monkey.
The whole of Earth is in deadly danger, Zero.
I guess I'm okay now, Jock.
The important thing is that Jock got through it without getting any mess on his kilt. Because of course he's wearing a kilt, and his suitcase is covered with labels of Scottish places.
23 bound for Earth.
But what happened to the invaders?
I also like, going back to David Graham's portrayal of 90 throughout this dream sequence, he starts off with that deep, heroic voice,
You can learn something from this, Commander.
which he's just slipped back into there, but at moments of panic,
Now, you remember that.
the older 90 was starting to slip through until finally at the end of the dream he is completely
Make them return
his
to
regular
previous
performance.
That's all you have to
He's
do.
a very clever man, is David Graham.
Tell them to
May I suggest they stand by and we get a tanker to them, sir?
that's quick thinking, Zero. You're improving. Get a tank.
Oh, David Graham again. This is a real tour de force for David Graham as 90 here.
Oh, okay. Commander Zero.
Losing more and more of his cool and composure as more and more. Not things going wrong, not yet. Just things that require attention.
Come in, XL5.
So we have a bit of a situation developing here at Space City. They've just launched a tanker to fly off and refuel XL29. XL5 is coming in on a landing approach. And there's also a freighter looking to land, I think.
Freighter A14 is using that pad.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
And the tanker's just been launched from the same area. What are we gonna do, Commander?
It's your show, General. You're the boss.
So for a reason that's about to become obvious, this episode was, if not the actual last episode filmed, the model sequences. And yeah, I think the puppet sequences in this final sequence as well would have been some of the last filmed. Precisely because
Do something, Commander Zero.
they're all about to be destroyed. For real, and proper, and actuals. All these wonderful props. Okay, not the tanker and the freighter that we've been watching, that have just... Yeah, there they go. Bang. But Fireball, our actual Fireball, is about to crash into actual Space City. And the whole place has gone up in flames. Oh no. Yeah, explosions in the control room.
Commander Zero, what have I done?
Yeah, they are just blowing up everything, trashing the whole lot.
Commander Zero, help me.
And it is quite sad, even though, as I've said, Fireball is not one of my favourite shows, even though I loved it as a kid. That shot of XL5 colliding with Space City and just watching them go up in flames, knowing that that is the end of those models for real. I mean, oh gosh, in that shot you could... Yeah, Fireball Jr. is just about intact, but the rest of the model is just this smoking pile of wreck.
Crazy nightmare. I've been dreaming.
It's a good job
Steve,
they knew. Well, I'm presuming they knew when they did this that they weren't going to be making a second series. It'd be a bit of a inconvenience for them if they got recommissioned.
all a dream.
I'll apologize. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Oh, he was right to bawl me out.
I love this back and forth sort of morning routine thing with cutting back and forth between 0 and 90, both sort of saying, "Oh well, I was wrong, and I'll apologise." It's such a nice way to end this episode. Each of them wanting to be genuinely, sincerely apologetic to the other, and it just sort of spiraling out of control into this, like, "No, I'm more sorry than you."
Don't say another word. It was my fault.
And again, this so far on rewatching Fireball, it's the relationship between these two characters that I found most entertaining so far. Oh, and of course the XL5 crew, for real, weren't actually in this episode. These are the only two characters who actually appeared in this episode for real.
If I'm sorry, I've got the right to say so.
Well, I'm sorry you're sorry, because I'm going to make you so sorry, you'll be sorry you were sorry.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a lovely way to end a day in the life of a space general. As I said, an episode that I knew about for quite a while before I ever actually got to see it. A very good idea for a dream episode, I think. And sometimes dream episodes are just like, oh gosh, no. You know from this one going in that it's a dream, it's obviously not real, so you can have some fun with it. I do think the fact that 0 and 90 don't actually get out of the control room is maybe a point against it. And that detour on Olympus with Steve and Jock doesn't really amount to much beyond a nice little nod to a previous episode that they returned to a planet they visited before. However, yeah, I think I do have a soft spot for the dream episodes where it all goes wrong at the end and everybody dies and everything's destroyed. Made even more poignant by the fact that that was the real Fireball XL5 in Space City going up in flames. Oh well, if it wasn't flames, they'd have all been chucked in a skip.